getting high.
Hello dear friends, welcome to the weekly vlog here from the wonderful Greece, Thessaloniki, my hometown. And in today's weekly vlog we are going to talk about what are the characteristics and the most important things you need to know when you are choosing what kind of practice or spiritual path or personal development path you should choose. Stay tuned and I will talk to you about this immediately.
We don't care.
Many times people are wondering what kind of practice they should do in order to grow, to evolve. Maybe they should try yoga, or maybe they should try something like meditation or shamanism. And basically they are making this choice based on what they want to practice, more or less. Let's say if somebody is more like a physical person, he says maybe I should practice Qigong or something like martial arts or something with movement. Or somebody who is more of a philosophical mind, maybe he's thinking let's practice something else, let's practice meditation or yoga, like philosophical type of yoga, jnana yoga for example. Or maybe study some books. Or somebody else who is more into something more emotional, maybe he likes something like shamanism or lucid dreaming or some other type of practice like theater or something else, psychodrama or family constellation, something that will involve his emotions and so on. But what we need to know is that this is a wrong actual way to make a choice, like to choose what you should practice in order to develop. Because I will explain to you how in the ancient times all these kind of spiritual practices were evolved, because you need to understand that in reality there is only one practice and one personal development path, and there are not really many different types. So in the past, when somebody would be to practice yoga or to enter in the path of shamanism, you need to understand that there was only one path for these people. For example, if somebody would live in Siberia, he would basically study Siberian shamanism. If somebody would live in India, he would basically study yoga or something that was in his area. And this is why every single path, it was created from one point of view differently, but it had to be complete. It had to catch all the being, because in reality a human being is one type of being. They are not different types of beings, yes? Like for example, all the dogs are dogs, all the trees are trees. So in order to have an evolution of the being of a human, then you have to have one method that will catch the whole being. It cannot catch only part. So you cannot have like a path that will catch only the intellect or only the body or only the emotions. But because of the different circumstances that people had in the past, because they were not exactly living in the same spot and in the same circumstance, then they would focus, it seemed that they were focusing only in one aspect, in one area. So for example, shamanism developed as focusing more in the inner journey, like a shamanic journey of the soul. And let's say practices like yoga in some areas seemed to be focusing more in the physical body, like to practice like asanas and something like that. Or other techniques like magic, for example, and using incantations and rituals. It seemed that they focused more in the emotional aspect, like a religious emotional aspect of devotion and so on and so on. But in reality, all of these types, they were one kind of path. So in order to understand this, we need to see holistically the human being that every one of us is. So the human being has the physical body, we have the emotional aspect, we have the mental aspect, and it is very important, if we want to evolve, to develop ourselves, to work in all the levels of our being, and mentally, and physically, and emotionally. And now you will think like, well, maybe it's not exactly like this, because, for example, the old yogis, maybe they were practicing more their physical body and they were developing through one aspect of themselves, or only meditation. Some yogis were only in the cave, for example, and they were just meditating. So how they were developing their emotions or their physical body? In reality, they were. We just have to understand the conditions of life of people. For example, yes, it is true that some yogis who were living in the nature, in the forest or in the caves, they were developing mainly through meditation. But they were doing some other things that they were actually helping them to work with their physical and emotional energy. For example, they were not eating a lot. So when they were meditating and in the same time they were not eating a lot, like fasting, their physical body was not accumulating a lot of mass. So they were always light, which is the same result as if you would train your physical body all the time and you would eat normally. So if you would eat normally and train physically, then you would burn the excess of food, for example, and then you would have a more light, strong state. The same the yogis were achieving by not eating. They didn't have like muscle mass, like muscles and so on, but they had a lot of energy because exactly they were thin, also not moving, and this would give them a lot of energy. Or for example, a shaman would live in the forest. Of course, he would be practicing his shamanic journeys, the soul journey and so on. But in reality, he was also living like a hermit, and in the wild forest, the conditions for a man to survive, to live, are tough. So he would have to develop also his emotional state and his emotional qualities very much. It is not like he was just beating the drum and he was making a journey. Also, we can even say the same for the people who were living and are living still in the Amazon, and they are making ayahuasca rituals. It's not that they are just taking ayahuasca, for example, and they are evolving just by taking ayahuasca. No, in reality, their life is completely different. They are isolated. They live an isolated, almost hermit life inside the jungle. They are fasting for years with tree juices and stuff like that. These are tough conditions for somebody to live, and in order to be able to do all this, you need to develop also your physical body to be strong. Of course, living in the forest all your life, for example, it will help you to become very, very strong without needing to do special exercises. I was there and I saw how strong these indigenous people are. They don't look like they are going in the gym or something like that, but they are tough like hell. But for us in the West, that we live in the cities in a different type of environment, and we have a different way of life in general, we need to approach the evolution holistically. Not just think that you will meditate or read some books and this is enough. No, you need to develop all the aspects of your life. I can say that in the Western society we are training, one aspect that we are training is the mind, which is very stressed. So this is like something that helps us to evolve through suffering of the mind, because we are learning so much information that this creates like a pressure in our head. And this pressure sometimes, if you know how to work with difficulties, it can help you evolve, it can help your consciousness grow, it can help actually your mind to evolve and arrive to the point to become able to like not absorb a lot of information, although your mind is evolving. Thing that, for example, the indigenous people didn't have in their life. I spoke once with one shaman there, and he was afraid, in the Amazon, he was afraid to come to the Western society, because he was saying, oh my God, if I will go to a huge city, because I was living all my life in the jungle, this could be for me like hell. I will be very stressed, and I'm actually scared to do this. So you see, also we are evolving some aspects here when we live in modern society. We are not like totally spoiled, but if you want to take some spiritual path or some personal evolutionary path, you need to understand that your approach should be holistic and practice different things so that your body is growing, your physical body is growing, together with your mind, together with your consciousness through meditation and contemplation, together with your emotions. You need to do also some techniques, some things to observe how your emotions are working. This is actually the right approach for your evolution. You need to include everything. So it's not a matter of which practice or which techniques should I choose, shamanism or yoga, meditation or reading books, or personal development regarding developing my business, for example, and some psychological evolution. Or maybe I should study human design or family constellation, and you think that you should choose one of these. No. If you choose only one technique or one specific method, you will actually start evolving only one aspect of yourself. So I want to make this video to tell you that you should choose everything and practice specifically many things, because all these things today, they exist in our society, in our world, in the Western society. All of them, they exist. So you can actually do this. You can choose many different methods of personal evolution and development and complete yourself as you wish it.
I know we're acting stupid, being dumb, maybe just a little bit foolish. I feel so young, let's go a little crazy and lose it. I don't care if we're dumb, it's the only way we know how to do it. I feel so young, I know we're acting stupid.
So this is what I wanted to tell you in this video. Develop yourself holistically, and if you want to learn more about topics like this, subscribe to our channel, click the like button and click notifications on to receive new videos every week that we release, when they are released, and help our channel to grow and spread more information that will help you to develop yourself and your life. So I will talk to you in the next video. Until then, stay hungry for knowledge and transformation. I will leave you from my hometown, Thessaloniki in Greece. Have a nice day, the rest of your days. Enjoy the summer. And I will be waiting for you in our school to evolve. I will put the links in the description about what we are doing, our academies and our schools, and the seminars that we have now in the summer in SAMOTHRAKI and OLYMPUS. Come to develop holistically and learn about yourself. Goodbye from the beautiful Thessaloniki in this July afternoon. Bye bye.